Yo, 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 what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. King the Builder, and today we are going to be going over, well, something maybe not the most luxurious. However, I wanted to kind of share what my process is and how I like to go about upgrading equipment, and wanted to see also if there's any thoughts or feelings from others, if maybe you have a different way that you periodically go through it, and how I pretty much kind of like to do my March checks. And we'll touch on a few of those things, and then I'm going to share some feedback and just maybe improvement thoughts on the current system when we're kind of going through it A to Z. So as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you sound like, ring the notification bell, and of course, if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord. Pinned comments in the link. Pinned comment is in the link. Discord can be found in the pinned comment / description below. I had to worry. Figure that out. That tongue twister there. Okay. So typically, whenever I'm looking to upgrade my March, right, and this is kind of, artifact aside, usually what we're doing is we are, for me, and this is kind of one of the nice tips here about doing like the Reborn. We've touched on this before. But for me, I'm still working on my water. I can actually reborn. I have to wait. I think it just came back. So what I could actually do is I could go in here. This is probably going to be the best thing really for me to do. And it's going to allow for me to reinvest these resources elsewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my troops. I'm going to edit. Let's just go with Herald. I want to remove Herald. I'm going to go to my alchemy lab. I have a lot of these things, so there's actually a few things that I do have to upgrade. So we're probably going to do these things in order first. So let me just get rid of a lot of this stuff and make sure I'm not getting rid of anything I might need. Okay, cool. So I think I'm good. So let's do this first. Just because I want to just mainly upgrade the stuff that I have here already. So I'm just going to insert Herald back. What we're going to do is we'll go to Immortals. And I'm going to take a look at my talk skills. I just don't know what I have yet. I have some stuff at 8. Some of this stuff isn't there. So we're just going to do a couple upgrades here. So I do 72. And again, please do not pay any mind to my upgrading. I'm more so doing it passively at the moment. Just because I have not fiddled with my skills to really do any hard customizations or looked at others that have been doing that as well. Okay, so I'm almost there. Oh, I can't switch, but let me see if I can upgrade cleave here. I can't. Cool. Okay, so now I feel a little bit better. Lastly, we're going to see if we can do some swapping and maybe do some higher replacements. Okay, cool. So here's a higher replacement with the borders, you can see, and the teardrop. On this one, I don't have any borders, right? So this is usually what I'll do. I'll go through, that's borders, no teardrop, borders with. Okay, nice. So I'm pretty good there. 45, I guess I could replace that, but is that worth? I guess technically it is, because it is the same thing. Nice. We have another teardrop, though, we can do. That's sweetness. Another teardrop. I love it. All right, let's see. I don't think I have any more, but I can at least upgrade. Okay, so I feel pretty good there. Quicksilver. Nice teardrop. Okay, cool. So I've replaced everything that I can on my main march. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. And I'm just going to do a bunch of, this is something I really wanted to touch on. I really wish we could do a larger amount, or even just like a dismantle all, or certain types, because otherwise this is a pretty monotonous process that you have to go through. So I'll dismantle that. Now it brings me to the next, right? But, and it's interesting because you have to click on these ones, which somewhat escapes me on why you have to click, and it just makes it a very long process. This is something I wish they streamlined a little bit more. Like, even if you could just do, like, select all, like, I can press and hold or something, and maybe it would give a checkbox, and then I can just check, and maybe do it manually. That even to me sounds like it could be a lot better, right? Because otherwise this is what I'm doing right until I actually get here. So then I'm gonna do these ones, because really what you're looking for is trying to get your bordered with your elemental attribute bonus. So you don't really need a lot of these. So I'm going to remove just a few, not a lot, because if so, we'll probably be here all day. But this is pretty much the process you'll see me do. Then what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'm going to strengthen these just up until the same level. So this is how I like to do mine. And it's been a while since I've upgraded, hence the amount, because usually it's always a low amount. It's just, you're upgrading at the moment that you get it, which is ideal. So we'll strengthen. We're going to take this to 45 as well. And then we're going to get this one to 45. Cool. So I wasn't able to get it all the way, right, because you saw that. So what we need to do is I need to go back in here and I need to generate. Here we go. Cool. Now I'm actually coming up on some of my big guys here, which is dope. Okay, cool. So these are bordered, but these are not element bordered. So these are okay for me to get rid of, along with, we could maybe go a few more. Should probably be okay. I'll do a few bordered here. Okay, so we'll hang on. I think we have enough now. We have a lot. So we're going to go back. And I think we ended here to tell us. So we'll do a few strengthens to get to 45. Sweet. We'll go back here. And we're going to push this to, well, we'll just push it to 45 for now. Because we might be able to come back and do it to 50. So we'll see. But I just want to make sure that I'm getting everyone at the same kind of 5 incremental level, because I do want to make sure we're getting that resonance bonus. Okay, so I got 5.57 left. So now what I like to do here is I'll go to whoever I have like the highest amount that I'm working on, and I'll just kind of pimp them out. So we'll do 5, right? I'll do strength, 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 strength. Bam, now I'm getting the 50 resonance bonus. So that's great. Then I want to do it on my next person. I'll probably maybe just go Attila and work. And let me see, how much does it take 5? So I have 4.3 mil, 3.6. We might be able to do this actually. It's only 700. And then we'll go here. Sweet. So I was actually able to do that there. Then maybe we'll do Merlin, and we'll start off with his weakest one. We'll do a strength 5. That's actually not bad. So I was actually able to look pretty good here. Okay, cool. So, I'll strengthen 3 pieces of equipment. Let's see how much I get for that. 2,000. Wow. That's actually a good amount. Am I close to 43? No, I'm not. Wish I was closer. Okay. So now we're there. Next, when I am kind of debating how much gold I'm going to use, I want to also look at my dragon. So I want to look at, okay, how much time do I have left on dragon? Also, what was the last amount of gold that I needed? And usually what I'll do is I'll go off of how much gold does it cost for the next upgrade, and I'll just keep that in my mind, or I'll write that down somewhere. So that way, if I have a good amount above that, what I think the next level increase is going to be, then I'll just pocket that to the side, and I'm going to hold on to the 58 mil. I'm not going to spend it now. But if I had, 80 or 90 or 100 mil gold, right, then I would probably be willing to go over here and to upgrade this for 24, right? Gives me some better stats, but I just don't think I necessarily have enough right now. So then what I'll do, because all my immortals are at 50, is I'll first off go to my troop. I'm going to remove Herald. And then I'm going to go back into my alchemy lab. I'm going to go to Immortal Reborn. I'm going to click Reborn here. Right now I have 7 and 11 days I have to wait. But here's the kicker. The kicker is that now what I'm going to do is I have to go back and find Harold. He's probably going to be pretty low. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to level him up, let's just say maybe to 45, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to leave those other spots open, and we're going to use those additional 5 levels of EXP All right, and that's a lot. Let me think. 45 might be okay. Maybe we do 46. I'll do 45 for now. And then we're going to go ahead and level them up all the way. And this is actually another really good tip if you ever want to do this to save money on gold, right? So reborning the immortals is a really good thing to do if you want to save money once you end up getting the academy tech that reduces the amount of gold for your gold boosts. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. It's kind of like a little way to get a kickback after you max that out. Then you go back and you do a reborn on the immortal. So you can see here, I'm kind of already set. I'm going to equip this that I have just for that. We're going to go ahead and work on the boost level. This is going to be a good amount of clicks here because we have to work him back up, I think, to 20. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do this. And again, this is kind of the monotonous part, is that you're going to have to do this a little bit. But it is a great way to go about. And then, of course, we'll touch on a few things here in a sec. I'll show you what I'm going to do with the other EXP. Usually what I like to do is I'll work on this for a second march, which I think is really good. It's basically pretty much what I would imagine, any vets have been doing for a while, but it's a good tip to make sure that the resources do not go unused, because as you can see for me, I had stopped doing it for a while. I mean, there was a point where I was pretty on top of it, and I was just all the time making sure. Okay, let's do one more here. And, okay, cool. So I must have been 21, because I know I had less gold than this. So, yeah, okay, that's about right. Cool. So I'm going to hang out here. We're going to load up equip, right, because we got to make sure that we're putting everything back. And cool. And then we got to make sure that we're putting these back as well. Which I believe is going to be these ones here. Process and energy expression. Cool. Okay. So now we're going to back out. I'm going to go back into Immortals, and I can see... Oh, well, I thought he'd be a little higher. Maybe he's not. Maybe it takes a minute to kick in. Oh, am I blind? Maybe he was up there. Wow, I must be really blind if I can't see Harold. Oh, here he is. Okay, cool. So then we have Harold here, right? And so now you see his backup. I got a bunch of EXP I can use. And so if you look at marches, right, second one I'm working on is my lightning. Probably should be my fire more or less. But given that I'm working on lightning, you can see where their levels are at, right? So pretty much everyone's at 40. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just do like one here. I'll go here. I'll do one. We'll go to Richard. We'll do one. We'll go Peter. We'll do one, then I'll double it and basically just go in reverse. And this is how you work on leveling your additional marches in a more efficient way where you're not losing out on resources. Because remember, if your primary march is at max level, then what returns are you getting every single time you go out there and you hit a gnome, right? You're not getting any because the level's max. So these immortals that are at 50 aren't gaining any EXP, meaning all the EXP they're gaining is being wasted. So instead, what you're basically doing is you're taking the EXP that you invested into the immortals, and from doing the reborn, you're getting that EXP back, and then you're able to reinvest that into your second and your third marches. So that pretty much goes into what you're kind of doing to level up your marches in all the different ways. Last one really is, when it comes to like talk skills, my best piece of advice is just again, go off of, either some of the top players in your kingdom or server, right? Look at a couple of them, look at what they're using. Hopefully I will have some time to recontinue my most used talk skills series at one point, and that's something I do want to do. And then when it comes to artifacts, my best piece of advice there is just, do as many events as you can for artifacts. Pay attention to the ones that are coming up in the calendar. Pay attention, obviously, if you're participating in KVK, see if you're able to get some shards there. And again, when you're going in to your forge, you can see here, right? I'm generating some things that I probably haven't checked in on for a minute. But if I click on this and we go to forge, you can see I have a couple here that I can do. I have some here that I can forge as well, right? I just need to generate a few more pieces. But these are things that, like, if you can just do and work on the epics, and don't get me wrong, you can do the elites. I know there's a lot of people that will do the elites as well, and I would say those are probably easier if you're kind of more in the free-to-play realm, starting out and maybe working on just generating one each while you're still just kind of saving up resources for epics. Otherwise, you can do the hard invest where you just do nothing but wait to get resources for epics. However, I think it's okay if you want to just do a base, kind of one elite artifact invest while on at the same time you're working on generating resources to eventually get an epic. It's just the system. The system is it's a lot because you definitely need to get a bunch of things, and especially if you want to re-upgrade your artifacts, you have to generate. You basically have to do a lot, multiple.
Can turn it off.
Yeah.
Off. It's really hot in here.
I know. I'll turn it off in a sec.
Now.
Yeah, right when I finish. I got it. Gotta love it. It's like 101 degrees in here. Not in this room, but outside. And unfortunately, the tower is generating a lot of heat in this tiny room that I unfortunately don't have a portable little AC for. That'd be great. So I think my lady just really cares about my well-being. Plus, she's pregnant, so there's a little thing there. With that being said, that pretty much talks about artifacts. I'll probably do a deep dive on artifacts at some point in time. I know I've been saying that for a while. But again, this is just a nice little revisit video on, a little refresher for how you can go about leveling your marches. The one thing I will say, and this kind of goes back into a larger picture with how I feel the current landscape for KVK for the game is right now, is, my view really, on a lot of things is, when you're deciding kind of going in, utilizing your marches for things like KVK or others, really focus on development. Going in and participating and doing what you can, based on what your level is always a good important way to kind of assess what you can and cannot do. However, taking your marches, because that's really what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to min-max your marches, get as many high-level marches as you can, as fast as you can, and try to contribute in KVK as much as possible, right? Because that's kind of end goal. So again, hopefully by doing some of these things, you'll be able to go out there and, again, using your AP daily, we talked about it before, making sure that when you're going out, you're doing your skill usage and you're going out and, you're fighting the highest gnomes that you can. For example, I can kind of do back-to-back 50s. So like one of the things I would do is I'll use my safe and sound because I don't lose any troops. So it's basically like a free kill as long as I can kill the gnome, right? But you would use this on the highest gnome you can. Then you lower the gnome level down so you're taking less losses, making it easier for you to generate and keep your army capacity high. And then you're using your additional skills. Like for me, it's Glorious Return. I'm using Experience, right? Which is nice if I want to keep leveling up my top march from doing the constant Reborn. It's just you kind of have to stay ahead. Like you can see, it takes about 7.5 days. So I kind of have to be on like a 22.5 day rotating schedule where I'm making sure that I'm only leveling up the immortals high enough to where they will not max out again within that kind of 23 day period, right? Where they're basically peaking around that time so that I can reborn them again. So it is kind of a constant rotation that you have to be wary of. Outside of that, I think that pretty much kind of covers some good tips and practices on, leveling up your march, kind of artifacts aside, as far as what you want to be doing. As always, right, pay attention to the calendar, always look and see what's coming up, take time to read the information that's there once the event comes up, always take time to read to see what you can do, because there's a lot of ways that you can grind, and I'm sure, they'll eventually add more events too, but there is a decent amount of things to do in the game, but just like anything, right, if you're a heavy grinder, you're going to want a lot of things to do. And most of the time, if you're on, 12, 14, 10 hours a day, or able to be, you're probably going to end up running out of things to do sooner than later. However, for the average player, I would imagine there is a good amount of things to do, but it will be nice for them to eventually add some more things in. Okay, that is it for me. As always, I would love to hear what your thoughts are, right? Do you have a different routine? Do you find doing certain things in a different order? Other things that you look out for? Maybe did I miss something that you want to add in and chime? Please let me and anyone else know in those comments down below. That is it for me. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.